On behalf of Doñana Community College, Office of Financial Aid, thank you everyone for joining us. Today we are going to talk about dividing and conquering your financial aid. Financial aid is made up of many rules and regulations. We thought it would be important for you to understand a few of the most important concepts, which include what financial aid is, where you get it, and how you keep it. Let's go ahead and get started with the basics. As you can see in the graphic, financial aid is no small undertaking. It is very important in helping students reach their educational goals. So what is it? Financial aid is any type of money that is given to you to assist with your educational expenses. It can come in the form of grants, loans, work study, and scholarships. Let's go ahead and break it down award by award, starting with grants. Not every student qualifies for a grant. Grants are monies that do not need to be repaid. As a student, you must qualify for the grant, usually based off income. The most common of all the grants is the federal Pell Grant. If a student completes their financial aid application early and qualifies for a federal Pell Grant, there may be additional state or federal grants that could be awarded. Additional grants have limited funding and go to those who apply the earliest. Loans. While loans aren't the best source of financial aid, they are an option. Loans are nothing like grants and they must be repaid. There are two different types of federal loans, the subsidized and the unsubsidized. The best option of the two is the subsidized loan. Student borrowers are not responsible for interest on a subsidized loan while they are in school, with a few exceptions. Unsubsidized loans are the worst option of the two, but still not a totally bad deal. When borrowing an unsubsidized loan, you are responsible for interest that accrues while you are in school. Every July 1st, the interest rate changes and is fixed for the year. These loans are not based on your credit, but do factor into your credit and credit score when it's time to repay them. Work study is a federal and state program where a certain amount of funding is given to the student to earn a part-time job while in school. If you would like to request work study, you must answer yes to the question on the FAFSA that asks if you're interested. Funds are limited, so not everyone who requests work study will receive it. This is a first-come, first-served program, so get those applications in early. Work study will allow you to work while you are in school, but no more than 20 hours a week. The benefit is that you are usually on campus and working at the institution. There are a few off-campus agencies that hire. If you received a work study award and need help finding a position, you can contact the office of CCSS to set up your Aggie Career Manager profile. Here you can go in and see the job postings and actually apply for positions. Scholarships. We always get asked a variety of questions about scholarships, and the truth is they aren't as easy to come by as everyone thinks. Scholarships are usually need and merit-based. If they are need-based, you will need to fill out the FAFSA application. Merit-based scholarships look at how well you are doing in school, specifically your GPA. The best chance of getting scholarships at DACC is to apply for them through the Scholar Dollar application. The application runs about a year ahead and is open from October 1st to March 1st. The priority deadline for scholarships has moved up to December 1st, meaning that if you have your application completed by December 1st, you have a better chance of getting a scholarship than those that complete the application after December 1st. So how do you apply? Make sure to go to scholarships.nmsu.edu and submit your Scholar Dollar application. So now that we know what financial aid is, how do we apply? It's actually pretty easy. You will first go online to fafsa.ed.gov and apply for an FSA ID. If you are under 24 years of age, unmarried, or do not have children you can prove you support, you will need to gather your parents' information as well. always make sure you are going to the .gov site because there are other sites out there that will try to charge you to complete a free application. The application is now open as early as October 1st, which means you are applying for aid nearly a year in advance. The FAFSA application does have to be renewed yearly, and you will always want to complete the application by March 1st. If your file is selected for verification, that means you will need to follow up with the financial aid office and turn in specific paperwork we request. Make sure you turn in this information as soon as possible because this could cause a delay in the disbursement of your financial aid. Lastly, always make sure that you remain eligible for federal financial aid by meeting what we call satisfactory academic progress. Satisfactory academic progress, or what we often refer to as SAP, can be a little complicated. There are three basic components of SAP. The first is your GPA. In order to remain eligible to receive aid, you must maintain a cumulative GPA of a 2.0. That's not too bad. That's about a C average. The second component requires that you pass and complete at least 70% of the courses you sign up for. Lastly, you will want to bear down and really focus in on taking all the right classes and getting that degree because there is a time frame component. It states you must have an associate's degree before reaching 99 attempted credit hours. Most of our degrees at DACC require 66 credits, so in all reality, you're getting a little cushion when it comes to taking an extra course here or there. Let's talk about your cumulative GPA. Your cumulative GPA is the total number of graded points divided by the total number of credit hours. As you can see in the corner of the slide, each letter grade has points assigned to it. Each of your courses also has credits associated with them. Let's go ahead and look at the following example. It may be best to form rows and columns to keep all of our figures aligned. Patricia wants to calculate her GPA and has earned the following grades her first semester. The first step is to find the point value for each grade using the grading scale. Next, multiply the credit hours associated with each course with the points value for each grade Patricia received. Next, you will need to sum the total credit hours Patricia is enrolled in and the sum of the credit hours and point values. The last step is to divide the total grade points by the total credit hours, and you will get the grade point average. You can do this every semester to calculate your semester GPA. Keep in mind, if you would like to calculate your cumulative GPA, you will need to do this for every semester that you have been enrolled. Completion rate, or the second component of SAP, isn't quite as complicated to calculate. You can calculate the completion rate by taking all the credit hours that you've completed with passing grades and divide that over all the credit hours you have attempted. The 70% standard for completion rate is cumulative, so all hours that are listed on your record at NMSU or DACC will be counted. Letter grades of F, I, U, RR, or W are classes that have been attempted but not completed, so do not count those in your numerator. These are the letter grades that you definitely want to avoid. Let's go ahead and try it out. In this example, the student has attempted 4 classes: English, Psychology, Criminal Justice, and Math. He has passed 2 of the classes, failed 1 class, and withdrew from the last. How many credits did the student attempt in total? To figure this out, we simply add up his total credits for the semester. Now, how many credits did the student complete? To get this, you add up all of the passing hours. Now, even though there are no letter grades of D's in our example, please keep in mind that D's are considered passing grades. What is the student's completion rate? 6 divided by 13 would give this student a 46% completion rate. Would this student be meeting the SAP standard for completion? No, this student would be deemed ineligible because they are not meeting the 70% standard. Let's go ahead and try another example. This student has 4 classes. How many credits were attempted? How many credits were completed? And what is the student's completion rate, and are they meeting the SAP standard? This student has a 100% completion rate, and they would be deemed eligible because they have surpassed the 70% standard. Time frame, the third SAP component, though quite simple to calculate, often confuses students. By federal law, students are expected to earn their degree within 150% of the credits that degree requires. Most degrees at the DACC campus require 66 credits to graduate. If we multiply 66 credits by 150%, we get 99. This is the number of hours that a student can attempt before financial aid will be stopped. Keep in mind that it is 99 attempted hours, not just hours that a student has passed. The extra 50% that a student is being given will allow for a couple of withdrawals, failed courses, maybe even a brief stint in an unwanted major. One of the biggest questions we get from students is, why haven't I gotten my aid yet? Maybe a student has not turned in all the required documentation to complete their file. Oftentimes, the financial aid office will request a copy of a federal tax return transcript or a household size form. These forms, if not turned in on time, will prevent aid from being paid out. Like the 3 components of SAP we just spoke about, perhaps a student is not meeting the satisfactory academic standards. That 2.0 GPA, the 70% completion rate, and time frame requirement are very important. The federal government will only allow you to receive aid up to a certain point. There are limits on how much and how long you can receive aid. The Pell Grant will have a maximum eligibility of 6 full-time semesters. The 6 semesters is all you have for your undergraduate career. So if you use up all 6 semesters on a certificate or associate's degree and wish to pursue your bachelor's degree, please understand that you will not have remaining eligibility, so use your Pell funding wisely. Aggregate loan limits. If you are a student that borrows, know that there are also limits to these loans. These limits can be how much you can receive per year based on your grade level, as well as overall aggregate limits. The overall aggregate limits work much like the Pell. You have a set amount for your entire undergraduate career that includes your certificate, associate, and bachelor's degree. So let's go ahead and wrap it all up. What is the most important thing that we learned? There are 3 basic criteria for maintaining eligibility for financial aid: a 2.0 cumulative GPA, a 70% completion rate, and make sure you obtain that associate degree by the time you have earned 99 attempted credits. If you have questions about your satisfactory academic progress, please feel free to give us a call or stop by our office. We'd be glad to help you with that or any other financial aid questions that you have. On behalf of the Financial Aid Office at Doñana Community College, thank you for joining us.